Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to The Walk. Today is Tuesday, September 10th. And yesterday we saw that the people had the attitude that they had a free license to sin just because they were God's chosen people. And we saw that they were called rebellious. In this chapter, we're going to see that word rebellious 4 times. We've already seen it twice. Well, today we're going to be seeing some more words that are very, very repetitive. Now, throughout this message, it's very important to remember that when they are speaking of they are talking, it is talking about the people that were rebellious, okay? So then we get to verse 3. As for you, son of man, prepare yourself an exile's baggage, and go into exile in their sight. You shall go like an exile from your place to another place in their sight. Perhaps they will understand, though they are a rebellious house. Oh, there's another rebellious that I missed, so now there's 5. You shall bring out your baggage by day in their sight, as baggage for exile, and you shall go out yourself at evening in their sight, as those do who must go into exile. As I read this, one of the things that popped into my head is, what are the things that I would take if I were going into exile? What would be those basic things that I need? Well, first thing that popped in my head is I want a Bible, because if I don't have digital access, I'm going to make sure I have a hard copy of a Bible. In addition to that, you'd probably have some toiletries, some food, some water. I would want my dogs with me for sure if it was possible. But this baggage is basically like I've got to get out quick. It's kind of like your go bag. I've got to go quickly. And he's being told to pack this, and, the people are already exiled. So he's basically acting out this exile, and he's doing it in such a way to explain to them why God allowed this exile. So yesterday we saw that rebellious occurs 4 times in this chapter. I just discovered it's actually 5 times. 5 is the number for grace. And their sight, that phrase, in their sight, occurs 6 times. And it emphasizes the demonstration of the baggage is for this rebellious people. Baggage for exile in the King James Version, I was surprised because I think of the King James Version as being a more formal language than the ESV, which is what I'm usually teaching from here in the walk. But when I looked at the King James Version, instead of calling it baggage, King James Version called it stuff. I think of stuff as a less formal word. That really kind of surprised me. So following the leading of the Holy Spirit, I dug into this. What does it mean? Well, the word for it there is Kelly, and it's spelled K-E-L-E-E, and it means something prepared. It can be armor, artillery, baggage, a carriage, furniture, jewelry, an instrument. But the pictograph is what really jumped out at me. It means to tame for the yoke, to tame for the leading. If you think about the yoke of an oxen, it's for leading the oxen. Now, in the Cultural Study Bible, it had an interesting note which said that in this act, Ezekiel is to pack an exile's knapsack in preparation for a long journey. The article in question is often represented in Neo-Assyrian monumental reliefs, celebrating the victories of Assyrian kings that portray captives being led away in procession with large black bags slung over their shoulders. The knapsack must have contained the barest of necessities, the very bare things that you're going to take. Then in verse 5, it says, in their sight, dig through the wall and bring your baggage out through it. Why is he digging through the wall? Cultural Study Bible note gave me an answer for that. When a city is besieged, a number of different measures are used to breach its defenses. Among these is undermining or drilling through the city walls. Since Ezekiel is digging from the outside of the wall inward, he takes on the role of the Babylonians who are working at God's command to break through into the city. Verse 6, In their sight, you shall lift the baggage upon your shoulder and carry it out at dusk. That's how that baggage would have been carried. You shall cover your face that you may not see the land, for I have made you a sign for the house of Israel. And I did as I was commanded. I brought out my baggage by day as baggage for exile. And in the evening I dug through the wall with my own hands and brought out my baggage at dusk, carrying it on my shoulder in their sight. Now, the ESV Fire Study Bible said that in this display, Ezekiel was to play out the role of the captive or refugee heading to another place and leaving everything behind except what was absolutely necessary for the journey. Through this action, God clearly communicated to another group of exiles from Jerusalem would be brought to Babylon. It also spoke to the exiles who were already in Babylon not to expect to return to Jerusalem anytime soon. So he's basically saying this exile's already happened and more is coming. That's what this prophecy is all about. As you think about how you apply this to your life, what would be in your go bag? What would be the barest of essentials for you? And if you were packing for a spiritual journey, not necessarily a physical journey, but to grow in your relationship with Christ, what would be in that baggage for you? Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.